Tim May podcast.
Thanks, Jerry. Ryan, Cal got off to that fast start, but then, of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. set Ohio State history tonight with two 1,000-yard seasons. Just can you speak on that start you saw, and was it you intended to get Marvin very much involved from the get-go?
Yeah, that's always the case, and it was great to have everybody back. It was great to have Cade back. It was great to see Trey running. It was good to have Mech and Julian out there. Certainly Marvin made some big time plays early on in the game and really got us going. I thought the reverse was really well executed by the guys up front. You talk about a couple of those blocks that were made. G. Scott came around and set that edge, and then Marvin did the rest. But Josh Fryer was hustling down the field. I thought the O-line, the first group really did a nice job, and Trey ran hard. Kyle made some good decisions. But like you said, Marv, is a special player, and we're always going to try to find ways to get him the ball. Not that it's always easy. There was a lot of double coverage out there tonight, and still found a way to make plays.
Over to the left, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch, and then to Cameron Teague.
Marvin, the defense got better as the night went on. It was playing without three key players. Yeah. First of all, how is Tommy? Is that a long-term thing? And what did you see from the defense?
Tommy will be week to week. It's not long-term, but it will be week to week. We feel like we're going to get him back here soon. Lathan's more long-term. But same thing with Proc. We think we'll get him back here real soon. But it was great to see some guys step up, guys that you never know how this thing's going to shake out. And you have to have guys, play. And even at the end of the game, able to get some guys some reps. Those are precious reps because you just never know when guys are going to have to be put in those situations. I think back at down the stretch run last year, at running back, at tight end, there was a lot of times, where we needed guys to step up. And so, watch the film and figure out who did that today.
Over to the right here, Clay Hall, WSYX, and then Dylan Davis.
I think it was a career night for Kyle, wasn't it? 335 yards passing. Could Marv ever throw the football, Coach?
Can he throw? No, we're going to leave him just catching, I think. Yeah. He can throw it all right, but not good enough to – no, I don't think so.
Game situation.
I'd have to look at it and see if he can do it. He does a good job of catching.
Over to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Ryan, you mentioned the double teams Marv got, and it's been all year. Bracketing, double team, triple team. When, as a play caller, how much do you have to think on a week-to-week basis? How creative can I get in getting him the ball in space?
Yeah, we want to get everybody involved. You saw Cade have 7 targets, and sometimes you design a play where you think it's going to go somewhere and it goes somewhere else. I think Julian Fleming's playing really good football right now too, and the ball hasn't quite gone his way a couple times, but it's going to. And the same with Mech. Every week he's getting stronger, and we know what he can do. And then you got Trey and the running backs and Chip, and I thought Xavier ran hard today too and had a couple plays down the field, which was great. But you try to do everything you can to put the guys in position to make plays, but ultimately they have to do it. And there were times tonight where he was double covered and he still got open. I think the one coming out of the half, pretty sure that was double coverage. He ran right through it. And I'll have to watch the film, but I thought Mecca ran a nice route too. I think he was probably open as well. But just every time that happens, other guys are going to be in one-on-one situations and they have to be, want to capitalize. And Kyle's got to find those guys. But I thought that happened tonight. Good to see us get off to, a hot start there. And we're playing complementary football like that. That's our, that's what we can be. And, this is where we want to be playing our best.
Over to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette, and then Austin Ward.
I asked you on Tuesday what you can learn from games like this, or maybe kind of mismatches compared to bigger matchups. Yeah. I guess what is your biggest takeaway from this game, the thing that really stood out to you about your team?
I just feel like we're getting all of our pieces back, and I think you're starting to see our identity start to forge a little bit what we're doing on offense. And every year, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to figure that out. And I think you're seeing us play with more and more confidence. I think, that was sorry to cut you off, Jerry. I think you guys were asking me this week about the game against Rutgers. And although it was a little clunky at times, I said that a lot of guys graded out well. I felt like watching the film that was encouraging and it was coming. And so I kind of felt like something like this was right around the corner. We were knocking on the door. So, count on this to continue to, push us forward with the momentum to, finish this season the way we should.
Dan Hope, 11 Warriors, and then Pat Murphy.
Ryan, when you have a player like Marvin who's gaining Heisman attention, do you think about trying to create more opportunities for him to bolster his stock there?
No, you can't do that. You can't start to do that. And I know that that's going to be part of the conversation, but that award is for the most outstanding player, not the standard, the player with the most stats. And he certainly made a major impact on this game, had 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, but really only played half of football. So no, we try not to focus on that. We just try to figure out what gives us the best opportunity to move the football down the field. And because we have great weapons across the board, and that's what's great about having all of our guys back, at full capacity. And then the O-line really starting to, make strides.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, the podcast.
Ryan, maybe I'm mistaken, but you seemed content to run things out there in the second half and just get this over with. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but if this game had been in September and not the middle of November, do you think you would have managed it the same way in the second half?
Probably not. Yeah, no, I think you're onto it. I mean, we know what's ahead of us. Trey didn't play in the second half. Cade didn't play in the second half. Mecca and Marv only played a drive, and then we started to get other guys in there. This has been quite a run for us, so it was good to get those guys out of the game a little bit and cut their numbers down, because we know where we need to be here. So
we're going to take just a couple more for Coach, so then we can get Marvin on. Over to the right or to the left, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Right, and you mentioned getting some of the guys in the second half.
Yeah.
What can they take from that, even though it's not a competitive game at that point?
Yeah.
What value is it?
No, but it is competitive to them. Like, that doesn't matter. This is an opportunity. They practice. They've earned an opportunity to get on the field, and now they got to grab onto those reps. And some guys did flash, and that's where you see a guy on the field, and other guys, it's like sometimes we say they spit the bit. They don't quite handle it the right way, and they have to learn from that. So they're all gradable snaps on film, and it doesn't matter what the score is. That should have nothing to do with it. For example, like just a young guy that just flashed to me was Calvin Simpson-Hunt on that screenplay. I mean, just what a great play for him to show up there. Like, okay, so now the coaches see that, they say, wait a minute now, maybe we should be looking at this guy, and that's kind of how Carnell kind of came on, and you see Brandon made the play in the Purdue game. That's part of it. So. So great opportunity, and we'll look at those snaps and see where we're at.
Spencer Holbrook, Letterman Row, and then Laurie Schmidt.
Ryan, it seemed like Kyle's over here.
Sorry.
Seemed like Kyle's ball placement was among his best of the year, with the first touchdown to Marvin and then the touchdown to Cade on the back shoulder. Did you see that from him? And is that somewhere that you think he's starting to take the strides that you want to see from him?
I thought his feet moved better in the game, just watching the rhythm of the game, the feet. He started off pretty good in the Rutgers game, and then he started off a little better in this game. He's starting to the game's slowing down for him. You can just see that happening. Not that it's all perfect all the time. It's not. But when his feet are right and he's found the rhythm of the game, that's when he's playing at his best. And I threw some really nice balls tonight.
Over to the left, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, what does Cade do for you guys when you get him back? And there were a lot of times where you kind of got him and the sticks moved. It seemed like things are efficient when it goes his way. I think 4 of the 7 catches went for first downs tonight. What does he do in terms of just keeping things moving?
Yeah, for one half of football, 7 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. It's a good night. He is strong inside in the run game, makes a huge difference. I thought G and Pat did a nice job when they were in there as well, but Cade is strong in there, and then he's become a weapon in the passing game. And he's in a situation where he's in a one-on-one a decent amount, and he's a big target, and he's making contested catches. And I think Kyle feels comfortable throwing to that big target, even when he is covered, like he was in the 2-minute drill. He's a big guy that you can throw him open like that, and he's going to make that catch. And that was a really nice play. So another guy who's when we're working at full capacity, he's a big part of it.
And last question for Coach Day, Laurie Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, when your guys show what you've called competitive stamina in a game like this, what does it tell you about what you'll see from them in a big game? And how much was tonight a test of your team's focus?
Coming off of last week, we really focused on, all right, now we're in November. We got to be playing our best in November. You play for championships here in November and December. This is where it all counts. And we wanted to take a step this week. And it was just when things get bigger, the focus gets more narrow. and it was just about playing as hard as we possibly can and executing at a high level. And, you know, we did cut back a little bit on practice this week, and I thought the guys played fast. So we'll look at it, evaluate it, and figure out what's best this week.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to bring Marvin Harrison Jr. up to the podium, and we're going to open up. Yeah, we're going to, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask Sonny Styles and Cody Simon to move to the back couple tables. So anyone wants to talk with them, they can head back there. Otherwise, we're going to open up the floor to the front here for Marvin Harrison Jr. Over to the right, Austin Ward, the podcast.
Marv, are you too nervous for the podium? Over here on your right. You don't want the podium? You want?
No, I look much rather my spot in the back there. Usually comfortable.
You got it. I mean, aren't you used to the spotlight by now?
Yeah, right. Getting there.
Which of the 3 touchdowns was your favorite today?
The rushing one.
Why?
I think we called that play, I think 3 times in my career so far, and I came up short the other 2 times, and I finally got an end zone this time, and that was my first rushing touchdown of my career, so that's definitely going to be a special one for me.
Marvin, over to the left, we got Cameron Teague Robinson from The Athletic.
Ryan, Marvin, you mentioned the rushing touchdown. It seems like as the years gone on, teams double you, triple you, bracket you. Ryan has done a good job of finding creative ways to get you the ball in space. How much have you grown in your versatility of whether you're coming around on a reverse kind of offset as a tight end? How have you enjoyed that versatility?
It's definitely been great. I learned a lot. In spring ball, I got to play slot pretty much the whole spring with the Mecca being out. And so just enhancing my game as much as I can. I think, last year, obviously, I was just, kind of an outside guy. But now, I think this year I'm showcasing more of my ability, and I can do many things on the field. So, like you said, credit to Coach Day. He's done a tremendous job getting me the ball. So, all thanks to him, really.
Over to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
Marv, have you ever been to New York in December?
What did you say?
December before?
Close to December, but no, not in December.
I know that you don't set out to try to go win the Heisman Trophy, but it's a realistic thing right now. You're in the talk of that. Is it something that, like, at least you want to do? Is it in your head at all in the off season? Like, hey, I'd like to win a Heisman Trophy, or is it so far removed that it's just not?
No, I mean, in all season, that wasn't in my head at all. I just want to beat the team at North and go to the Big Ten championship. I mean, I've kind of been saying that all year. So those are the 2 goals I've had before the season even started. And I'm thankful to even be in the conversation. But there's a lot of football left to be played, and I'm just trying to do my best to help the team win.
Over to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Marvin, do you feel like the connection between you and Kyle is getting stronger and stronger here as you go week by week?
Yes, definitely. I know we played with each other in high school, but it's totally different in college. We just the players are better, the schemes are different, so we're still trying to adjust. And we have, I think it was 10 games now. We're still developing the chemistry and just giving each other different looks, in practice and trying to be on the same page as much as we can. So, it's been great though. It's definitely been, super exciting playing with him again, and we're going to continue our connection on the field.
Over here to the right, Tim May, the Tim May Show, and On 3.
Yeah, Marvin, a lot of receivers have come through Ohio State. You're the first guy to ever have 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons. What does that mean to you? I mean, I know you're paying attention a little bit to that, but what does it mean to you already have a legacy like that?
Yeah, that's crazy. All praise and glory to God. He's blessed me a lot with a lot of different gifts, and each and every day, I just try to honor those gifts. Put in as much work as I can, and he's blessed me to be able to accomplish a feat like that, and to be the first ever to do something in Ohio State history, especially as a receiver. You know how many great receivers have come through this place, and that means a lot. And like I said, I'm just super blessed.
Right behind Tim, Jeff Gilbert, Press Pros.
The fast start tonight, you guys have been talking about wanting to do that. What did that feel like in the huddle, sideline, all through that first half? Just score.
Yeah, I don't know the correct stat. I think we scored on 5 of the 6 drives in the first half. That's what we need to do. I think starts with scoring points in the red zone. That was big. We can't settle for field goals in that area. So when we score touchdowns and not field goals, I think that's definitely the fast start that we're talking about.
What was there more exciting doing that? What did it feel like on the sideline?
I mean, no, this has kind of been the model all year that we went a fast start, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that. But today we did.
Over here to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, a primetime game. You played the way you did tonight. I asked you a couple weeks ago about the Heisman. Probably punch your ticket for sure. How meaningful is that to you at this point?
Not meaningful too much. Obviously, very thankful and blessed to be in the conversation. But no, we still have 2 games left in the regular season, and hopefully one in a Big Ten championship. And that's kind of been my goal all year, is to do those 2 things: beat the Team North and win a Big Ten championship. So, whatever happens in December happens in December. But right now, I'm just obviously focusing on the corrections that we need to make from this game, and then moving on to Minnesota.
And final question for Marvin, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Marvin, Ryan said that he cut back on practices this week. Was it noticeable? And if so, how much did it help? I mean, I imagine it's that time of year where you're starting to feel it.
Yeah, week 10, that helped tremendously. I think not just me, but many other players dealing with some injuries. We're trying to battle it out, and throughout the whole week, we're trying to get as healthy as we can for Saturdays, because obviously Saturday is the most important. So, for him to do that for us, and I think for us to perform the way we did, it shows our maturity as a team, shows the confidence and trusting he has in us to go out there and still execute at a high level, even coming back some reps at practice. So hopefully we continue to do that. But obviously Saturdays need to go the way today did to get for that to happen.
Marvin, thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to bring our last interviewee of the evening up to the podium. Kyle McCord will open up with Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Kyle, week 10. Week 10, things are starting to wear on you. You're a college football fan in addition to being a college football player, and there's a lot going on in the landscape right now. How tough was it to focus today?
Honestly, not tough at all. I feel like, we've done a good job of blocking out all the noise. And, I think regardless of what people are saying, what the rankings are, I think at this point in the year, it's pointless, because we know at the end of the day, we still have a lot of football in front of us. And especially in November, that's when championships are won. So I think if anything, the team's done a good job of almost, putting the blinders on in a sense, and, not letting any of that outside noise creep in.
Over to the left, Cameron Teague Robinson, The Athletic.
Kyle, Ryan made the point that an award like the Heisman is for the most outstanding player in the country, not just someone who has the best stats. I think it's fair to say Marvin's probably one of the most impactful players in the country. How does his play, his versatility impact you in your job specifically?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I can't really quantify it, how impactful he is to this offense. I mean, I think there's, one-on-one situations, obviously he wins. I think there's situations where he takes 2 defenders with him if they want to double him and somebody else is open. I think he does a good job blocking too. I mean, he does so much for the offense. And, I feel like, I think I said this about a month ago, if it's truly the award that goes to the best player, he has to be right there in contention.
Over to the right, Andy Backstrom, Letterman Row, and then Spencer Holbrook.
Kyle, over here. When Coach Dave was asked about your ball placement, he pointed to your footwork. He said that often determines it. Did you feel like your footwork was especially better today, and how much does that ankle factor in at all?
Yeah, I felt like my footwork was definitely better today. I think that's something that we focused on during the week. Was just being on a good base, having my weight distribution right, and then I think the O-line did a great job today as well in pass protection. I mean, I don't really think there was a time today where I dropped back and had pressure in my face, so I was able to step into the throws the way I wanted to. So I think that's a credit to the boys up front.
Over to the left, Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
Kyle, I mean,
and then Pat Murphy.
You talk about how outstanding Marvin is. With all the weapons you have, is there still times where it's hard maybe not to just throw the ball to Marv because of how good he is?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously it's A, the play calling, and B, what defense they run. But I think there's not a one-on-one situation where I don't like Marvin. But like I said earlier, I think there are times where they try to double him, and that opens up other guys on the field. And I think with the weapons that we have, really any one-on-one matchup on that offense I like.
Spencer Holbrook over here to the right, Letterman Row.
Safe to say that you were happy to have Cade back on the field?
Yeah, 100%.
What's that like throwing to him right now?
Yeah, I mean, he is just a big target. He runs his routes extremely well. His attention to detail is outstanding. And, I think on top of that, he's a force in the run game too. So I think the way he blocks, the way he runs routes, the way, he's just selfless on the field, I think, the whole offense benefits from that.
Over here to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Yeah, you got all the pieces back tonight, scored 5 touchdowns and 6 first half possessions. Do you feel like with what we know is coming up that you guys are ready to take that step and rounding into the form that you probably expected all year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is what I've kind of been talking about all year. Just continuing to improve and grow each week. And now that we're in December or November, I think we have to play our best football now. And I think the urgency, has been passed down from the coaches to the players. And I think as an offense, we knew that, this had to be a good week for us and, a step in the right direction, which I think it was. Especially in that first half, we were rolling. Obviously, probably would have liked to finish a little bit better in the possessions I had in the second half. But, I think overall, definitely a step in the right direction.
Over to the left, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports, and then Katie Kapusta.
Kyle, what was it about tonight that allowed you to be as consistent as you were? Some games you've started real well or gotten to a groove later. Why tonight were you as consistent, do you think?
Yeah, I think first the game plan. I think we were super clear in the game plan. I thought we had a great week of preparation and knew how we wanted to attack them. And then I think B, just the guys around me did a great job. I mentioned the O-line earlier. I thought they had a really good game, especially in pass protection. I feel like there was a clean pocket all night. And then obviously the receivers going out and making some really good contested plays. And then I think on third down too, I don't know what the stats are exactly, but I think on third down, we were really efficient tonight. And I think anytime on third down, you can be efficient, keep the chains moving, points are going to follow.
Over here to the right, Tim May on 3.
Yeah. Kyle, when you're out there and Trevion's behind you or around you, Cage at tight end, like you were talking about, Marvin and Emeka are out there, Julian Fleming. What does that feel like? It's been rare this year, in the last few weeks that's been out there. Does it feel like you're driving a big time car? What does it feel like? And,
yeah.
And did that have a lot to do with the hot start? Because I know, you've been criticized about and this offense has been criticized about not having that hot start, and you got one tonight.
Yeah. I'm spoiled. I think that's really the only way I can put it. You look around on that field, I think in every single position, it's just a dog. And, I feel like defenses have to pick and choose how they want to try to stop us. If they want to load guys up to try and stop Trey, that means, good matchups on the outside. If they want to play coverage, that means, we got a good run box and, Trey's going to do his thing. So I think that was kind of what we did tonight. And I think now it's just how can we continue to improve upon that? Because I think when all those guys are healthy, it's scary.
And we're going to be 2 and done right now. Katie Kapusta, Spectrum.
Kyle, over here. You mentioned playing your best football, needing to play your best football in November. Do you think this was your guys' most complete and best game? And what kind of confidence does that give you in the final 2 games of the season?
Yeah, I think definitely, especially in that first half, I think that's kind of the start. We've been shooting for all year, getting out the gate and putting points up on the board and being consistent that entire half. And obviously, they took some of the starters out pretty early in that second half. But I think, this, was a pretty complete game. Like I said, I thought we could have maybe finished a little bit better on this final drives that I was in. But I feel like just, especially the defense too, letting up 3 points and, the offense, like I said, starting fast. I feel like, we definitely, got off on the right foot and just kept that momentum rolling. So I think, I would say probably this is one of our more complete games, and, I think it's happening at a good time.
And final question over here to the right, Andy Anders, 11 Warriors.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about timing. Ryan said the game has been slowing down for you, and there were a number of second window throws and things like that you made in this game. It looked like, just how have you gotten the game to slow down for you, and what's important to have good timing on a throw for a quarterback?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is film study during the week. And I think when you put the work in, you put the hours in, I think that allows you the opportunity to go step on the field and play with confidence, play a step ahead, and play with anticipation, which is extremely important at this level. And then I think the second part of that is just having trust in not only yourself, but the guys around you. And, I feel like we're starting to, peak at the right time and get things rolling, which is good. But obviously, I think that all starts during the week, the reps in practice, and then watching that extra film. I think that's really what allowed me to play a step ahead today.
Great. Kyle, thank you very much.